Let me guess. You just got one of those retirement projection letters in the mail. You know, the ones that say you need about $1.2 million to retire comfortably. And you currently have, let's just say it's not $1.2 million. Maybe you're staring at that number thinking, great, I'll be working till I'm 87. Or maybe you're doing that thing where you just shove the letter in a drawer because facing reality feels too overwhelming right now. Here's what I want you to know: I've been exactly where you are. That pit in your stomach feeling when you suddenly realize that you're not exactly where you thought you'd be financially at this age. And through my work as a CPA and financial planner, I've seen the research and real world examples that prove something important. Starting your wealth building journey at 45 or 50 isn't a disaster. It can actually come with some advantages. I'm Toyin, and what I'm about to share with you isn't some get rich quick fantasy. It's a realistic, proven framework based on financial research and planning principles that work even when you're starting at 45, 50, or 55. Because here's the truth nobody talks about: starting late actually comes with some surprising advantages. And by the end of this video, you're going to understand exactly how to use them. Okay, first things first. Can we just acknowledge that calling it starting late is kind of ridiculous? You've been working for 20 plus years. You've been managing money, making decisions, building a career. You're not starting late. You're optimizing what you've already built. But I get it. When every financial article assumes you started investing at 25 with zero responsibilities, it's easy to feel behind. When compound interest calculators show what happens if you invest $500 a month starting at age 22, and you're sitting there at 47 thinking, well, that ship has sailed. Here's what those calculators don't show you: the advantages you have now that 25-year-old you definitely didn't have. Advantage one: you actually have money to work with. At 25, most people are putting $50, $100 each month into their RRSP and feeling proud of themselves. At 45, you're more likely to be in your peak earning years, and your expensive kid phases might be winding down. No more daycare, fewer camps and activities. Time is money, and so is the actual amount you can invest. And what you have more of now than you did at 25: actual money, real money you can put to work. Studies show that people's peak earning years are typically between 45 and 55. You're not behind. You're hitting your stride. Advantage two: you know what you actually need. 25-year-old you was guessing about retirement. You know what your life actually costs. You know what makes you happy and what doesn't. You're not going to waste money on what doesn't matter because you figured out what does matter. This clarity is worth more than a decade of extra investing time, because you're not going to overshoot your target by working longer than you need to, or undershoot it because you were too optimistic about living on beans and rice. Not that anything is wrong with beans and rice. Advantage three: you're done making expensive life mistakes. Your 20s and 30s are expensive. You're buying houses, having kids, changing careers, maybe getting divorced, starting businesses that don't work out. Case in point, it's basically 2 decades of expensive life education. Now, you're done with most of that. You know what you want. You're not going to blow your savings on some midlife crisis sports car or a business idea that sounded great after 3 glasses of wine. Advantage four: your risk tolerance actually makes sense now. Everyone tells you that you should be more conservative as you get older. But honestly, you probably have a better handle on risk now than you did when you were 25. You've lived through market crashes, economic uncertainty, and job losses. You know that markets go up and down, but the world doesn't end. That perspective is incredibly valuable for making smart investment decisions. Let's talk numbers because this is where it gets really interesting. Consider Sarah. She's 47, has $25,000 in her RRSP, and just realizes she needs to get serious about retirement. She's comparing herself to her 25-year-old coworker who has been investing $300 a month for 2 years. But here's what Sarah can do that her coworker can't. She can invest $2,000 a month because she's in her peak earning years and her expenses are stabilizing. If Sarah invests $2,000 a month from age 47 to 65, earning a 7% average return, she'll have about $850,000. Not bad for starting late, right? Here's the kicker. If a coworker invests $300 a month from age 25 to 47 at the same 7% return, she'll have about $230,000 by age 47. Sarah's going to catch up and pass her in less than 10 years. The lesson? Money can trump time when you have enough of it to deploy. The midlife catch-up framework. Phase 1, the reality check. Before you can catch up, you need to know where you're actually starting from and where you're trying to go. Figure out what you currently have in all accounts: TFSAs, RRSP, pensions, savings. Don't judge it, just count it. Then, calculate what you actually need. Not some generic, you need $1 million number, but real numbers based on your real life. What do you spend now? What will you spend in retirement? What will CPP and OAS cover? This isn't about being perfect. It's about being realistic so you can make a plan that actually works. Phase 2, the income optimization. This is where midlife magic happens. You're probably in your peak earning years, but are you capturing all of it? Look at your last 3 years of income. Is it trending up? If not, why not? Are you undervaluing yourself, missing opportunities, working below your potential? Research shows that many people, especially women, undervalue their skills and don't negotiate effectively. A strategic approach to income optimization can add thousands per year to your wealth building capacity. Phase 3, the debt strategy. High interest debt is the enemy of catch-up plans. If you're paying 19% on credit cards while trying to earn 7% on investments, the math doesn't work. But here's where your midlife advantage is kicking again. You probably have home equity you didn't have at 25. You might be able to consolidate debts at a much lower interest rate. The goal is to eliminate high interest debt so that every dollar you put towards your future is actually working for you. Phase 4, the investment acceleration. This is where you leverage your biggest advantage, the ability to invest substantial amounts. If you can invest $1,500 a month for the next 15 years, you're going to build serious wealth, even starting at 50. The key is getting started and staying consistent. Don't get fancy. Broad market index funds, target date funds, balanced portfolio. You don't need to pick individual stocks or time the market. You just need to get your money working and keep it working. Research consistently shows that simple, diversified portfolios outperform complex strategies over the long term. Phase 5, the protection plan. You're in your prime earning years, which means you have the most to lose if something goes wrong. Make sure you have adequate disability insurance, life insurance if there are people who depend on your income, and an emergency fund that actually covers emergencies. This isn't fun stuff, but it's what protects your catch-up plan from getting derailed. The mindset shift that changes everything. The biggest barrier to a successful catch-up plan isn't mathematical, it's psychological. Stop thinking of yourself as behind. You're not behind. You're optimizing. You're using the advantages you have now: higher income, life experience, clarity about what matters, to build wealth efficiently. Stop comparing yourself to people who started at 25. Compare yourself to where you were 5 years ago. Are you better off? Good. That's the only comparison that matters. And Stop thinking you need to sacrifice everything to catch up. Extreme deprivation doesn't work long term. Build a plan that you can actually stick with for 15 to 20 years. The timeline reality check. Can you catch up completely? It depends on your specific financial situation. But can you dramatically improve your financial future starting right now? Absolutely. If you're 45 and invest aggressively for the next 20 years, you would have options at 65 that you don't have now. You might not have the same retirement as someone who started at 25, but you have a good retirement, a comfortable retirement, a retirement you can actually enjoy. Financial research shows that even starting at 50, consistent investment can create substantial wealth by retirement age. And honestly, that's enough. That's success. Starting your wealth building journey at 45 or 50 isn't ideal, but it's not hopeless either. You have advantages now that younger you did not have: more money, more life experience, clarity about what you want. The catch up plan isn't about perfection, it's about taking the situation you're in right now and making it as good as it can possibly be. You can't change when you started, but you can absolutely change where you finish. And that power, that's entirely in your hands. If you're ready to create your own catch up plan, download my 5-minute money checkup below this video. It will help you assess exactly where you stand and what your next priorities should be. No generic advice, no judgment, just a clear starting point for your life. Because you're not starting late, you're starting now. And now is the exact right time to build the financial future you deserve. See you in the next video.